Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Local Lowdown podcast. My name is Danny Shanholzer, and I am joined by
the regular host of this program, Zach Bishop. All right, today, I really should have let Danny even take this, but I'll take it. We will be talking about, first, the Erik Carlson trade. We deep diving that. We got into that a little bit. We dove into it just a little bit last episode, just to entice you all to come back and listen to this one. We will then talk about the Steelers preseason. They take on the thingy on the screen there. The Steelers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7 p.m. Tonight, August the 11th, I believe it is. Yes, the 11th. And then we will then talk about the Pirates a little bit, and there's something going on with the curler down there, but we'll fix that later. And then the Premier League. That will be our final subject of discussion here today. All right, Danny, first, your thoughts on the Erik Carlson trade, as we mentioned last time.
Yeah, for sure, Zach. Great to be with you as always, man. Erik Carlson, Zach, I am super excited to have him in Pittsburgh. You know, we see the trade graphic, and what sticks out to me because of that trade graphic, Zach, is just the fact that we got a really good player for not a ton of cost associated with that. I mean, we gave up Jeff Petrie and Casey DeSmith, really the headliners of who we gave up to Montreal there in the 3-team trade. Zach, I think Erik Carlson adds a dimension to the Penguins that hasn't necessarily been there in these past couple years following the cup runs, because Erik Carlson is a super talented offensive defenseman. Zach, you know, he's a guy that's gonna go like peanut butter and jelly with Chris Letang and any other defenseman that he's paired with. Right? He's a guy that you can really structure a power play around, and I just am super excited to see how Chris Letang and Erik Carlson are able to gel together, and how he can kind of take a leadership role, honestly, to the Penguins, man.
Oh, right, yeah, I do think we need to play in that parade. I really do think that this team can make a run this year. I think they will get back to the playoffs, and I think that Erik Carlson will be a very, very good teammate for. I think he'll also be somewhat the veteran presence in the room too.
Yeah.
The Pens locker room has always been pretty good, but I think this will certainly help. I think Carlson will certainly take on a leadership role in due time.
100%, Zach. I think too, like he's not intimidated by Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang, because he's been that type of leader for the San Jose Sharks, right? And he talked about in his press conference earlier with the media, he talked about how excited he was to come to a team that has those veteran leaders, and hopefully how he can help with that. Also, like he played with Ricard Raquel, I think, and a number of other guys too, which is awesome in terms of chemistry. Carlson's just a guy that's been around the block, right, Jack? He's a guy that knows what it's like to be a defenseman in the NHL, because he's 33 and he's done that. And I really think the Penguins have been a piece away from getting past the first round playoff woes in these last couple of years. I think Erik Carlson provides that piece, because another thing, Zach, how last year Malkin, Letang, and Malkin had super good seasons, and they were the healthiest they've ever been in their careers. Well, obviously they have more years in the past than they're going to have in the future. So the injuries are going to be part of how we're able to navigate that. And I think that Erik Carlson is a guy that kind of can carry the load, if you will, if Crosby needs a break on a Tuesday night or if Letang is out for a stretch of time. I think he allows for more rest in terms of the veterans as well, Zach.
Yeah, and also I just thought of this. Jake Gensel, he will miss the first month of the regular season due to, I believe, was it ankle surgery?
Back some with the oh yeah, okay,
I think it
yeah.
was I thought it was ankle or knee, but regardless, he did
I,
have some.
no, you're right, Zach. You're right on
He,
that.
he did have some operations on at some point here recently. I believe he plays in a summer league in Minnesota. I think it's like that's the beauty league. So I wonder if he could be a certified beautician too, alongside my co-host over there. All right. Yeah. So that will be it. Just briefly talk about the brief absence of Jake Gensel and what that effects that can have, if any, on a team as we um, look into the season.
Yeah, Zach. No, that's a great point. And Jake Gensel obviously is a goal scorer, is a grinder, is one of those top six guys that's really important to the to the offense, right? To the power play and just like he scores goals, he manufactures chances. But Zach, I think that the difference with this team, Zach, and obviously we're going to know more when we see how training camp goes and we hear news out of there. But this is where I'm really looking towards Ricardo Raquel and Riley Smith to like make that jump and really kind of take the place of Gensel there for the first month of season. Because as you said, Zach, like that's not going to be easy for Gensel, obviously being on the sidelines, but that's not going to be easy to fill his place. But what I just see here is just a deeper team than in years past, Zach.
Yeah, I do think that the bottom six is is going to be really good this year. I think they're going to not be spending a lot of time in the road end. I think that
Yeah.
this team really did get better with the couple of recent moves of Kyle Dubas. Well, I will be looking there we go forward to seeing how this team fares in the NHL this season. All right, next we are going to talk about, I believe it is the NFL preseason. My notes, yes, the Steelers preseason. They take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight at 7 p.m. Jamie, your thoughts on Steelers preseason action, and it's also almost Madden season, so we have that to look forward to as well.
Football is on the brain, Zach, and I am here for it, man. In terms of NFL preseason, in terms of Madden getting released in a couple days. Um, I mean, it is hard, to evaluate and come up with all these hot takes before the first preseason game of the year, just because it is preseason and guys are going to be on load management, if you will, and really conscious of the amount of snaps that are taken, which is obviously fair because the NFL is super so physical, and you obviously don't want to you do not want any injuries, but especially not in preseason. But Zach, I think the national media has really been sweeping on the Steelers as of late, and I think that I look at this preseason and really just what's been coming out of camp too as a way to kind of show everybody that the Steelers can still contend, right? I mean, what I'm super looking forward to in the preseason is seeing the kind of jump that Kenny Pickett makes, and if he plays a series, seeing the jump that George Pickens makes. He might be the number one receiver, Zach, which I would love to see George Pickens get more opportunities to impact the game, because the catches that he makes, I mean, Steelers fans know, listen to this podcast, that he makes crazy catches look routine. So those are, obviously, I'm really looking forward to watching the offense. Obviously, Calvin Austin too, Zach. Calvin Austin too is a guy that I think can really, if his speed is used in the right way, he can really make an impact. So I'm looking forward to see him in his first live preseason game of the year, and just also too, I'm interested to see, the offensive line, right? The competition between Dan Moore and Broderick Jones, and who kind of fares the best in that regard. I know it's super hard to evaluate, where they're at, but I'm just excited for real football, Zach.
Yeah, I also am excited for real football as well. I think I don't really care who wins preseason, but I'm more excited about the rookies and seeing this year's draft class and see how they fare in games. So I will be watching all three. Yeah, is it three now? It is. All three of preseason games, and we will follow up on this with after the preseason with a Steelers season preview as well as updated. Well, we did predictions already, but we may redo them in due time. All right. Now we're now going to talk about it was Pirates next. All right. So the Pirates they split a series recently with the Atlanta Braves, one of the best teams in baseball. Getting your thoughts on one, the season or the series split, and also two, the the overusage of Pirates closer David Bednar, always and leading to one or two blown saves.
Yeah, Zach. I came out of the series split against Atlanta encouraged, because Atlanta is the best team in baseball. I mean, statistically, record wise, they are a very complete team, and we were in all of those games. I mean, a couple of the losses, we really should have, could have, would have had, because I mean, it was just we get to the eighth inning, and then our bullpen would have some struggles. But I came out of that really encouraged, Zach, because Cabrian Hayes hit back to back homers, I believe, his sixth and seventh of the year, which is just awesome to see that he's finally getting back into the swing of things. And just I was encouraged by the way that we didn't come out intimidated by in playing the Braves. I feel like sometimes when you play teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Braves, teams come out intimidated, and the Pirates certainly didn't do that. And they won the first game, and they were super big underdogs. I'm not sure exactly what the line was there, but they were super big underdogs. And they battled, man. They battled all series. Alakai Williams made a couple really nice plays in the field, and it was just Josh Palacios had a really nice catch, and I was just encouraged, man. As far as David Bednar, Zach, and I'm really curious to hear, like what your thoughts are on
Oh, I have
everything.
thoughts.
Obviously, yeah, no, dude, because David Bednar is one of the best closers in baseball. Like, there's really no argument with that. He kind of is the guy that shuts the door, right? And he did, I mean, primarily based on the fact that he pitched, three straight days, blew a couple saves, which is uncharacteristic. But I mean, I think when you're a team that really is kind of struggling. I think it's hard, when you are in a position against a good team, you obviously want to bring it home. But I do wonder, okay, if Bednar is healthy and doesn't have to pitch on 3 days on after pitching 3 days in a row, what happens, right? What other guys in the bullpen step up? So that's that's certainly something that's been going around for sure. Jack. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, man.
Yeah, I do think that the Pirates have been grossly overusing Bednar recently. He pitched prior to last night. I believe he pitched three out of the last four three of the last four games. I think he blew saves in two of them. So, and he was what 24, 25 saves prior to that. So that's
Right, lights out. Yeah,
yeah, that is uncharacteristic. I mean, I could see the the fatigue in there. His last before he got a day's rest in that last one save. But like as you were saying, other guys. Sorry, I was confused a second.
no,
Colin
go ahead,
Holderman.
Jack. Go ahead, man.
Colin Holderman, I believe, pitched the was in the closing role last game where it was a safe situation. Danny, your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I was really glad that they rested Bednar and were obviously able to win yesterday 7-5. I think the hard part, Zach, is when you're going against such a good team and you're in close games. I mean, on Wednesday the Braves beat us. They outlasted us 6-5. On Tuesday, blown save and they win 8-6. That's hard because we're in those games and those are you want to give it to your best guy in those situations, which is Bednar, obviously. But I think the kind of issue right now, it seems like Derek Shelton, the Pirates manager, isn't as confident in the rest of the bullpen in those high leverage situations. And obviously, David Bednar is a tremendous closer, but it's good that we're in these one run games against good teams, and it's good that we're competing. But we also need to obviously give Bednar a break so he's at his best when we need him the most. But also, we got to have other guys step up and take on that closing role when the game calls for it, and we haven't seen that as of late, Zach.
Yeah, no, I think the Pirates have been a fun team to watch over the last week or so. It's been with the Braves series was really fun. Yesterday's game was back and forth all afternoon. So that certainly is while the season may not be going anywhere, I think the Pirates I'm still enjoying watching the Pirates as the season progresses and we move into football season and also Madden season. I'm very excited
Yes,
for
sir.
that. Very
Zach,
excited for that.
now not to be super. I'm not trying to be too optimistic because when you're too optimistic, sometimes you have super high hopes, and this is kind of where those two. I'm not going to put it all on Bednar, but if we close out those two games, we might even be in a better position than we are. As of today, August 11th at 1:17 p.m., the Pirates are only 9.5 games out of first place. Now,
Uh,
obviously, we have to leapfrog obviously the Brewers are leading, but we got to leapfrog two other teams in the Cubs and the Reds that are both 2.5 games out. But I mean, this is where if we get a couple win streaks going, that we
uh,
might be able to make some noise
yeah,
here.
yes, sir. All right, and lastly and finally this afternoon, we are going to be talking about the Premier League over in England. That's one of my favorite, also another favorite time of year of mine. So match week number one kicks off in about 2 hours ish, really, from recording this, just before 1:20 p.m. on the 11th of August. All right, so let's go on over there, and I need to make that screen. 11 now. Um, I can't do it. All right. First, we have Burnley and Man City. That takes place today at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then I can't scroll. Hold on. I need my All right, as I was previously saying, we have Burnley and Man City at 3 o'clock Eastern today. And then tomorrow, the 12th of August, we have Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, and West Ham. Brighton versus new to the Premier League, Luton Town or Luton. Everton at Fulham. Sheffield, which I believe is also up this year from the whatever the other tier is, and then Newcastle and Aston Villa to close out action for Saturday, the 12th of August. And then on the 13th we have Brentford and Tottenham. Is that Tottenham? Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I think Chelsea and Liverpool, which
Yeah,
is
you're
the
right.
game.
You're right.
Thank you. Which is the game that I will be watching. Chelsea and Liverpool. Come on, you Reds! I love the. I'm a huge Liverpool fan. And then on Monday, the 14th, we have Man United and Wolves to close out match week number 1. Danny, your thoughts first of all as I figure out how to get out of this. And we're going to take. All right, we're back. We had some technical issues there. All right. So as I was saying, my question to you, Danny, is your thoughts on Liverpool last season not making it out or not making the top 4 in the Premier League, so they will not be able to play in the UEFA Champions League. Instead, they will play in the UEFA Europa League. Danny, just your thoughts on how you think Liverpool will fare against some lesser competition than Liverpool is most certainly used to.
Yeah, Zach, for sure, man. You know, as a huge Liverpool fan, know all too well that this will be the first time in 6 years that the Liverpool will not play in the UEFA Champions League this year because they finished fifth last year. Zach, I think that Liverpool, obviously will do well in the Europa League with the likes of West Ham and Roma from the Italian league. Those are they're good teams, obviously. Because they made it to the Europa League, but they're nowhere near, the level of the Real Madrid and other Premier League teams such as Man City that Liverpool is accustomed to facing in the Champions League. I obviously think that they're gonna do well in that regard. But honestly, Zach, in terms of the Premier League, I'm super intrigued to kind of see how Liverpool fare because obviously, you know last season was not a season to write home for Liverpool. A couple years ago they set the record in terms of Premier League points in a single season, and they obviously did not do that this past go around. So is Liverpool able to get back to where they were? Right? Is Liverpool able to? They obviously, Jurgen Klopp is a world class manager and still have a lot of talent in terms of the players that they have, but can they make that jump from fifth to top 4, which is obviously not easy. Zach, a super surprise team that made the top 4 last year is Newcastle, and that this might be the biggest storyline that I'm watching in terms of how can Newcastle keep up their great year. Can they again make it to the top 4 and really kind of start to solidify themselves as a top 4 contender, or was this just a one off? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack, there's so many. There really are so many storylines that us not being in England obviously kind of sneak up on us sometimes, and I for one before you mentioned, that we want to do a Premier League segment, I was like, what? And then you're like, yeah, there's games today and tomorrow. So
Yes.
like, I mean, it's a great time of year to be a sports fan, Zach, and I mean, just a lot going on, which
Yeah.
is pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I need to repeat my question because Danny heard it, but Steve didn't. So my question to Danny coming back was just his thoughts on Liverpool not making the top 4 for the first time in 6 years, and how he thought they would fare in your Europa League play. All right, Danny, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here today?
No, Zach. Obviously, as we mentioned, a lot going on in the world of sports, and that's the way that we like it here at the Local Lowdown Podcast Network. Always a pleasure being on with you, man.
We're not a network. It's only when we do play by play, but we can go.
My bad. I'm sorry. Sorry for the folks listening that I was not on the A game there, so to speak. But Zach, always a pleasure, man. Despite my imperfection, I appreciate you sticking with me this long there.
All right, do you want to run the outro?
Sure. For Zach Bischoff, I'm Danny Shanholzer. We will see you next time. Bye for now.